Now, there's a heck of a lot of ways that you can apply the Orton effect to your images. In my opinion, there is definitely a right way and a wrong way to do it. I've seen a lot of photos lately where the Orton effect is really just blown out and unattractive looking. So I wanted to create this video to show you the way that I apply the Orton effect, which I personally think is the best way to do it. I've refined this over many years. I've changed this. I'm constantly changing this and updating it to what I think looks best. This is what I think looks best at this very point in time. My name is Austin James Jackson, professional landscape photographer based in Southern Utah. In today's video, we're showing you guys my favorite way to do the Orton effect. Now, if you know me, you know that I don't like to waste a lot of time. Let's go ahead and jump right on in there into the computer. I've got my image open in Photoshop. Now, if you're looking at this and you're saying, oh my gosh, I don't know how to use Photoshop, don't worry. You don't need to know how to use Photoshop, although I do have a course on that, which I will put a shameless plug for right here. But if you don't know how to use Photoshop, don't worry, because I'm going to show you everything you need to know in Photoshop in order to apply this Orton effect the way that I like right here. Now, what I like to do first is do my preliminary edits. So I've done a few basic edits here. I've done camera raw, all that good stuff. So when I apply this Orton effect, I don't want to do it at the beginning of my image, and I generally don't want to do it at the very end. I want to do it somewhere in the middle, and that's kind of right where this photo is at right now. So the way that I want to apply this, the way that most people would apply it, I'll show you first, is that they would go in and they would do Command Option Shift E, that's Control Option Shift E on PC, and that merges all visible layers. And then they would go up here, they would go to Filter, down to Blur, over to Gaussian Blur. They'd blur this somewhere between 20 and maybe 60 pixels. Depending on how much, you know, the softer and wider you want the blur to be, the more pixels you would want it to be. I like somewhere around 50 is usually pretty good for me. So I'll hit OK. Then people go in soft light blend mode, and they would lower the opacity to about 30 and call that a day. And that looks all right, but I'm going to show you a much better way to do that. Bring that opacity all the way back up to 100, and we'll hide that layer because we are still going to use that. This is kind of a modification on that original way that most people are doing it, but it's a little bit different. So what I want to do here, first, the one thing that I really like to do to kind of add a little bit better color to my image, or rather to add a little bit better color difference to my image, is I like to cool the whole image down first, and then I'm going to warm this glow up. Because generally speaking, when you're adding glow, you want it to be warm in color, because glow is usually from the sun, which is yellow, which is warm. So it would make sense. But first, let's cool down the whole photo. So we're going to just click here, grab a color balance layer. I'll put this below the Orton here. And we will just make the image slightly more blue toned and just a little bit towards green. And if you're finding once you do that the blues are really, really overpowering, you can always go in and create another hue saturation, click blue, and then drop the saturation of the blue. So just like that, I just kind of want to cool this whole image down. Now we've got our Orton effect layer here. We can double click and call this Orton. And this is all part of the process. So all of this is going to be how I do the Orton effect. And it might look a little complicated, but I do think it provides the best results possible, at least at what I've found up to this point today. So we've got this here now. We want to apply the Orton effect only to the bright parts of the image. We don't want to do what a lot of people do, which is just lower the opacity and let it apply to the whole image. We just want to apply it to the bright parts. Now, if you know how to use luminosity masks, you can do that. I usually use like a lights 2 mask. But if you don't know how to use luminosity masks and you don't want to buy a panel or download a panel or whatever, I'll show you how you can do it for free. So you'll go in, you'll go up to select, you'll go to color range. Then you're going to, yours is probably going to be on like sampled colors, but you're going to go down to highlights. Now you're going to make some adjustments here. So for range, generally I like my range to be all the way at 255, and then I'll adjust the fuzziness from there. And whatever I select here is going to be what gets glow in the image. So let's do somewhere around 82 there. We'll hit OK. Now we'll selecting the Orton layer, remember the layer that we blurred and changed to soft light earlier, we will put on a layer mask. Now you can toggle this and see look how much better that looks because it's not affecting the whole rest of the image. Now, some people might say this isn't strong enough. They want a stronger looking effect, and that is where this refinement comes in. But first, we're going to do one thing. I mentioned we're going to make this warm. In this image, it doesn't need to be too much warmer because the light was already really yellow. But let's say the light wasn't super yellow. You would go in and do color balance. You'll hit this button here under your properties panel. You'll see an underline. Now this is just affecting the Orton layer. So you can see we can change the temperature of the light. So if we wanted to warm it up, we could just like that. And generally, I also like to go in with like a curves or an exposure, hit the down arrow, and I like to brighten that. Now that can start to get washed out, especially when you are doing this on something like this where it's already really bright, but that looks fine. Now, this is really where the power of this tool comes into play, and that is in the refinement. So if I hold Alt and Option, or the Alt Option key, click on the layer mask. This is the layer mask. So anything that's white is getting the Orton effect applied. Anything that's black is not. Now, we can adjust this layer mask. A lot of people would like try and go in with a brush, but we don't want to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to pull up our levels. So Command L on Mac, Control L on PC. Now, as I adjust the levels, you can see this makes my mask more or less selective. And I can adjust this slider, I can adjust this slider depending on what you want to do. So the way that I like to do this is to click back on the image so that we're seeing the preview of the image, then click on our layer mask here, Command L on Mac, Control L on PC. Now we can adjust this. And as I adjust this, you should be able to see what's going on in the image. If you can't, let me make it happen a lot faster here for you. You can see as I adjust this, this really tweaks the image. So typically what I want to do is make this glow extend further and stronger into the brights. Somewhere maybe like right in there. And we'll hit OK. And then I always like to go back and do Command Z and then Command Shift Z to undo and redo. Now I'm liking what that's doing, but I am finding that I'm not liking what it's doing to the foreground here. So if you want to make an adjustment to your foreground, it's actually really simple to do. You'll create a group. You'll throw all of these into the group. Then I can simply just go up to select. Oh, oops. We'll click on our last base layer here. Then we'll go to select. We'll go to select sky. Now this should make a good selection of the sky here, hopefully. You can see it's done a decent job, but we can apply the layer mask there. Now our Orton is just affecting the sky in the image. So you can see it's not affecting this snow, which is good because I don't want it to affect the snow. So lots of different customization options here. In my opinion, this is the best way to apply the Orton effect. Of course, if you wanted a little bit of the darkness to be applied to the foreground, you could go in here, click on your layer mask, and then you would just simply go and drop the density just a little bit. And as you drop the density, what you'll see on the layer mask is that it softens the blacks. So it allows you to apply a little bit in the foreground if that's what you want to do. And then you can, of course, always go back in and make adjustments here. So if I'm noticing, okay, maybe the sky is looking a little too green on our Orton, maybe I want to change the color a little bit. Somewhere like right in there. So really there's so much that you can do here. I'm really just scratching the surface, but always go back through, tweak the settings until you find that it looks just right. For me, I'm liking something about right in there. So everything that we've done here, we'll call this Austin's Orton. You can see before and after. Before and after. So I think that's the best way to apply the Orton effect. You might agree or disagree, but in my opinion, that is how I like to do it, how I think that it looks best. So I know I said that there is a lot of you that are probably doing the Orton effect wrong, and I hate to say wrong because there's a lot of great ways that you can do it, and ultimately if you like how it looks, then that's great. But hopefully by watching this video, you'll give this a try, and maybe you'll like this more than the other way that you were doing the Orton. I know this is something that I've been evolving over time, things that I've been changing, things that I've been adding on. So I do hope that it's really helpful for you and that it will help you to create better images. If you have any feedback or any ways that you do the Orton effect that you like, that you want to let me know about, please let me know down below in the comments. I love to hear from you guys, love to try out the things that you mentioned and everything like that. Otherwise, I want to thank you guys so much for being here and watching this video today. If you do want to improve your photography, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, my name is Austin James Jackson. We'll see you guys next time. Adios.